it's just so threatening.
Even
Suddenly
more,
Ember is just a bully.
Yeah, I just love Warlock overall. I think that this hero is, like, we have seen it a few days ago. We talked about it on the panel. We said that it's an upcoming hero, and you can see the resurgence of this hero constantly he's picked, and he's just strong, man. Fatal Bonds in the laning stage itself just changed the way the lane is played. Like, before Warlock, it was all about the Shadow Word. You hide behind your carry, you pop that heal on him, and you stay behind the tower pretty much. You can't even trade hits well. But right now, he's pretty solid even as a zoner, so some things have been improved on him.
Even beyond zoning, just area denial. I can't think of any support spell throughout an entire existence in Dota that has been as underrated as Upheaval. Everyone consistently says underrated Upheaval.
Preaching to the choir.
I don't like. Dude, it's wild that the spell has remained like that.
There was a meme way back at TI5. I used to play Warlock mid. I love that hero. It's actually, I think, still my most successful pro hero, because it's kind of in my skill set, you know. Because I would just stand still. I would put Upheaval in the choke point. I would just say to my team, "I'm upheavaling. I'm still upheavaling," and like everyone just geeking out. But if you get like 3 heroes inside you, it's deceiving, because people don't realize it's like quicksand.
Yeah.
You know, and you just win the fight. If they can't get out of the upheaval, ultimately your worst case scenario is you run away, and it's gonna linger. So you're gone. Like, either you take a free fight or you just leave.
Especially
like,
in these ages of like quick dispels, like Greaves can't get out of it. You know, you're stuck no matter what.
Yeah.
Damn, this is actually very interesting. They picked the Darkseer, but also the Wind Ranger, and now this still could be Ember safe lane and Wind Ranger mid, right? That's also an option for them.
For sure.
Because I don't value this Wind Ranger paired with Darkseer as much. Like, your position for Wind Ranger and Darkseer offlane.
You do get pretty much free kills on every archer, and it is a lot of pressure you can apply. This LC is very OG-esque. They've been running the LC plus spread damage carry for a long time. It also gives you a dispel for the Wisp and the double heal effect. If you heal the Wisp, you're also going to be healing who is tethered to, likely that gyrocopter.
It looks so stable on the side of Cyber Legacy, but it looks also very old school.
Yeah, very old school.
You know, you have this Legion jumping in with the duel, followed up by the relocate of the Wisp, and you're gonna kill targets. And you were talking about the pace of the game and how fast Cyber Legacy can play. If you look at NiP, they're the same, apart from the Warlock, right? Like, they can actually match this tempo quite fast, and they can play around those relocate cooldowns as well.
Their team fight specifically is a lot more threatening. Cyber Legacy is effectively all single target, with the exception of Flak and the Gyro ulti, but it's more that NiP have methods of area control. You know, you can go in with the Ember, there's an upheaval on the ground, there's a Fatal Bonds, there's a Vac, and suddenly it's just, you know, heroes are dead. Cyber Legacy have to find skirmishes to win this, and ultimately I think Gyro has to just be enormous, because the one benefit their draft has is that if they can turn him into this hyper carry, NiP are going to have some difficulty taking him out with all the sustain behind him.
And you don't really have any big counters to the Gyro right now left in the pool, right? The Morphling has been banned out. Besides that, is there anything that you would be worried that you had to ban?
Well, so I am curious about the Gyrocopter, because Gyrocopter is not, in an earlier panel, BSJ mentioned that he's not really a premier carrier right now. And a hero like Sven was still in the pool. So what is it about a Gyrocopter that Cyber Legacy, assuming it's not comfort, which it very well might likely be, it's just a comfort hero for them, what is it a Gyrocopter can offer with an IO that, say, a Sven wouldn't, or the more popular carries that we see wouldn't be able to offer that a Gyrocopter does?
You had better use of mana from the Wisp. So you effectively just run around with Rocket Barrage on autocast, and you can just farm so quickly.
You bring the mixed damage to the pool earlier on, so there's that, right? And you can be active a little bit earlier, but I agree with you. Like, this question is you have a valid point, because Sven right now is just as strong, if not stronger, in most people's eyes, right? Like, you farm just as fast. You go with the Storm in the end. This is your classic hero that will deal well with the Ember Spirits in the lane, or can deal well, but also you have this Warlock that's scary, but if you get on top of him first and he doesn't even manage to dish out that Golem, then he's not really a problem, and he's not scary at all.
It's a terrifying draft for the late game, though. Cyber Legacy, if Cyber Legacy come online, like, Warlock's great at team fighting, but 30 minutes in, he ever shows on a ward, he's dead immediately. And the jump potential now from Cyber CL
Not
is
only the
insane.
Storm, you have LC as
Yeah.
well, right? Like you have 2 heroes that are able to completely get on top of this Warlock and destroy him. And not only that, eventually this Rubik is going to have a Blink Dagger too.
Yeah.
So he will be perhaps jumping first, initiating that lift later on in the game when you have that Blink Dagger is long as hell. So there's going to be a follow-up either by the Relocator, the LC, or the Storm. It's not an easy Warlock game.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you like the Furion with the IO pairings because of that global potential. So highly mobile heroes like a Storm Spirit kind of fulfill the same thing, where as soon as you see a single target is acquired underneath a ward, everyone can mobilize on them.
It's very similar, and also if you know Cyber Legacy and Magical ever since the Navi days, Storm Spirit is like
Sure.
one of 3 heroes in his hero puddle. He doesn't really play a lot of heroes, but the ones that he plays, he's really good at. And
I
Storm
remember
is one of
Navi
those.
with Magical on TA, tier 1 team. Without him on TA Redusa, I believe
Yeah.
was the third, it was just not the same. And I think this...
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
expected. It's an old school counter to the gyro. This is something that Fly was a big proponent of way back in the day because, again, in our complexity and then in the original OG, it allows you to close gaps on the gyro, and then
Especially now with Ags as well.
Exactly, and then the E also is really nice against the flat cannon because you're going to absorb 2 or 3 hits.
One of the reasons why I also like Sven here quite a lot is you're comboed with the Darkseer. Even without that Aghanims, you're fast. And you're one of those heroes that can match Wisp and Gyro when it comes to the farming speed.
Yeah.
You have that built-in cleave. You don't need
You can
a
also
Wisp.
steal stacks,
Yeah.
which is quite nice. And in theory, you're going to be a good laner against the Rubik and the LC. You're not going to be as susceptible just having the lane shoved into you because you can just shove it right back. Also, Darkseer Sven. Come on.
Yeah.
This is... I feel like...
Has been somewhat nerfed, as we saw in the D patch. You can't break
nerf
the
it.
speed limit as much. It's still quite good. And
You still
these
have
odds are
Vacuum
also
Stun.
extremely even. Some of the most even odds we've seen,
true.
1.85 to 1.91.
Man, Vacuum with Aghanims on Sven with God's strength.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that so
Put a
much.
golem on top of it.
This is my favorite short story of all time is The Mexican by Jack London. And in it, it tells the tale of 2 boxers. One looking for the knockout punch. The other, scrappy, hanging on, and ultimately winning the fight in the end. But that's what this game is. I expect a similar result, where NiP, they need the knockout punch. I think if Cyber Legacy play it right, they should take this game, but they need a strong laning phase. And they need to juke the Wombo combo.
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
NiP is looking like Mike Tyson in his prime right now, not this 55-year-old. And one hit, one big team fight is
They
all
are
they need.
punching in the divine bracket right now, though.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
That's true.
they are trying to work their way back up. But this will be a good test also for Cyber Legacy to see who really deserves to be in that Immortal bracket, who deserves to be in Divine. Let's find out in game number 2 as we pass it over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. Yes, let's find out indeed. Game 2, ladies and gentlemen, ready to go between NiP and Cyber Legacy. And, well, what are we seeing? We're seeing the IO this time. It's going to be taken away from NiP. Cyber Legacy able to get their hands on it. The Sven, though, NiP are still going to go with it this time around as their last pick. I mean, what do we reckon? Is there the same potential for this game to be as explosive of a performance for Charlie on his Sven, as he did have a very fantastic game 1?
I'm going to say no. I think that I look at this draft,
Yep.
this is more about the Cyber Legacy that I've seen throughout the entirety of this tournament. The dominant Cyber Legacy that plays fast. That was the one thing that I looked at with the last draft. I was like, this doesn't really feel like them. Like Magical is not.
Spectre
They have all 3 of their like core heroes just can't really do too much around the map unless they just like dominate their lane. And they weren't set up in position to dominate those lanes. This time they have active heroes. They have heroes that can move around, make space, and Gyrocopter can always fight. So I'm looking at their draft and I'm like, they're gonna look for these battles instead of sitting back and chilling like they were in the last game.
Yeah, true, because the last game was definitely one of the slowest starts that we've had. It was
1 to
12
2 at
minutes
12
in.
minutes,
It's,
yes.
You know, that was sort of unheard of in the
Yep.
games that we've been having here at the Omega League. So, yeah, for sure. You would imagine with this lineup, definitely something that's going to be much closer to the scenarios that Cyber Legacy has been able to come out on top of in many of their performances here in the Divine League. So let's see if they're able to use that same sort of play style to their strength against NiP here in Game 2. So again, they're looking across the 2 drafts that we've got. Anything else that sort of stands out to you as pretty strong this game, or any sort of weaknesses you see from either side's lineups?
Let's see. BKB Pierce. No, I mean, I definitely, again, I'm liking what Cyber Legacy has this time. I liked it last time, but I didn't really think about how slow paced their draft was. I think this time they can actually they can play super fast. I'm a little worried for Magical because I do feel like there's some annoying things to catch him. Like I think the route from Ember is always just so fast. You can't really do anything as a Storm. But I mean, it's strong. It's definitely strong. They also have like Dispels versus this Warlock. They have their own Rubik to be able to get some pretty nice spell steals in this game. I'm liking it. I'm just worried. I'm worried because of Storm, right? I think that's the one thing I'm concerned about because I've seen this hero lose like every game. I think.
Well, we have seen a lot of teams suffer with it for sure. I mean, it's one of those heroes that it's just so easy to just throw away a good start. Right?
Yeah.
The temptation's there. You get these first few items, and then you're just balling into these team fights, and then boom, you're dead.
He's got saves though, right?
Yeah,
he's got the Legion, he's got the IO, he's got a few ways to bail him out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the one thing that kind of changes it for me too.
Yeah.
NiP, they have an explosive draft when it all comes together, but I look at the two supports and I'm a little worried because like Warlock and Wind Ranger just feels if the side laners, let's say the cores don't have anything good going on, how the hell do they make moves, right? Like the Wind Ranger and the Ember have to be paired together, but they will have to be bringing the Darks here too, so some damage lacking. I feel like if Cyber Legacy just starts setting the pace, I don't know how NiP is going to respond properly.
Yeah, I mean, are any of these lanes going to get shut down early? Any sort of strong lane matchups that are favoring NiP here?
Favoring NiP? What was their top lane? No, actually, I really like Cyber Legacy's lanes across the board. I think Sven can kind of deal with this pressure a bit here because he just has the Warlock who's going to heal.
Yes.
But there's a lot of nuke. Like the Rubik and this Legion Commander can catch people off guard. Mid, Storm versus Ember. Storm likes that matchup. Bottom, I look at Gyro, IO. I don't think they really care about Darkseer, Ion Shell. They're never going to get touched by that at all. And they can get kills down there pretty easily. Darkseer and Wind Ranger can easily die to a Gyro plus that IO. Like a missile on Wind Ranger, she just has to run.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, NiP, they've got to play careful on that bottom lane as well. The early weakness obviously didn't really cost them too much in the overall effect of the game, but did give up a kill or so to Cyber Legacy with their lane set up in game 1 down on the bottom lane.
And one of the big things that I actually noticed in the last game too was their inability to contest stacks. Right, we saw that Sven have a quad 5x stack on both of the hard camp and the Ancients.
15 minutes in.
I look at their draft this time, they can easily invade, right? Storm can just zip in. If they have any type of vision, they can throw in a relocate there as well, or they just run in with the IO Gyro. They have a front line like Blizzy who can actually run in a little bit easier too, so I do think they can contest those stacks a bit better.
I mean, yeah, and when you sort of see that as NiP, are you not stacking, or you still are going to? You just have to be prepared to defend it, or do you just not do so because of that, as you say, the threat that Cyber Legacy's team does pose in terms of stealing it away from you?
They do still have ways to fight around it, like in particular that Ember plus the Darkseer early. If Warlock has 6-2, for sure, they're going to look to defend that area. But yeah, there's just a lot of ways that Cyber Legacy can invade this time, especially because I do feel Supreme's going to be at a big deficit this time in mid. Last game, he was just like the king, right? He's this Viper doing whatever the hell he wants in the game. Nice goal there by Kuman. He was able to do anything as this Viper, but this game, it's a tough lane. Like, Magical's going to win that matchup straight up as a Storm Spirit versus Ember.
In terms of the build this game, I imagine you're looking at this Ember and you do want to go like the Vessel build up on Supreme. You're playing against Anaya. Or
I've seen people
there
doing
is
it
Dispel
less
though
now.
on the Legion, right?
Yeah.
So maybe not because of the fact that there is that counter.
I'm not sure. I just haven't seen people building it as much anymore.
Just what's sort of the standard
just
drums and
yeah.
Yules.
Just go early fighting items. I think that just takes too long. Unless he just snowballs, then he could get it. But yeah, I've just not been seeing it too much. And like you said, there's a Dispel to just kind of negate that very heavily. So we see Sven leading that CS board. He's fine because he's got Misha at his side.
Yeah, he's having a solid start yet again here, Charlie.
Yep.
He's going to be able to get the free farm in this lane. No problem whatsoever.
As the levels build up, it gets harder for him, though, versus this Rubik, as well as this Legion. Nice little block there by Slayer to not allow them to pull the creep wave back.
And still, I was looking elsewhere. The mid lane 11 for 4 against the 7 for 0. I mean,
Magical's just going to crush this one.
I was going to say, when does this sort of get better for Supreme? I mean, Supreme, what options does he have? I guess once the Flame Guy's got a few levels, he can head to the jungle himself, but still, it's not the quickest, especially on those early levels. And It still means that you are going to have to ferry out a fair bit of regen to do anything really as this Ember early on, whether it be try and contest the Storm in lane or try and hit the jungle creeps.
From the positioning of the lane right now too, he looks screwed right now. And like there's already a bottle on the Storm, and look where the creeps are meeting, right? It's like Storm's gonna have the lane pushing in. What is Ember gonna do here? Like he's gonna get a double deny, the melee's gonna go into his range creep, and Supreme has no regen. He has to just sit back. This mid matchup looks pretty over already here. So I think the biggest thing now for him is really going to be, right, farm some of the jungle things, but also just ensure that his supports get that rune. If Storm gets the rune here, Supreme's game is going to be harder than it already is. So definitely going to be watching out for in particular, probably like Era to go check out that bottom rune.
Yeah, and I mean, Magical with this sort of start that he's having, he's going to get this free farm. I mean, are you sort of liking the trend that we're seeing Storm players like GPK go for, where you get just the brown boot straight Orchid rush, or
not a fan, personally.
Well,
I like the timing.
I mean, what is the downside of it? Like, because to me it seems appealing, right? You want to get this impactful item online as soon as possible, so you forfeit the early stats, the attack speed you may get from the benefits such as treads. Like,
I'm cool with the Orchid first. Like, you can rush the Orchid, that's fine, but then you benefit so much based off the treads with your Orchid. The Orchid gives you so much damage to be able to use your right clicks to utilize all this. It gives you pretty much everything you want when you have extra attack speed. So
you think sort of most of the time where you're getting the Orchid, say, a minute or so faster because you didn't spend the extra money on upgrading your boots, it's not really going to do much.
No, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm fine with getting the Orchid first and then going back for treads.
Okay.
Right? Like,
but skipping it totally, going straight into Bloodstone, you think you're missing value there?
Yeah, unless you're like, I guess, super snowballing in the game. But even then, it feels a bit awkward. And we saw, like, I mean, GPK's done it like every time though, so I'm like, I can't really say anything against these like 9K, 10K, 11K players that play Storm, right? It's a bit tough. Like,
I mean, but then at the same time, GPK did lose more games than he won. So, you know, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But no, just interesting to see the difference in the ways that Storm players like to play, and we'll get to see what Magical fancies this game.
Yeah.
As he is getting a very nice start in that mid lane.
I'm scared Supreme's going to die because he's going to try to force
very
experience.
He's playing around with the stick charges and the Fairy Fire though, so he's more than happy to dance around. Does need to be careful if Magical steps up, as he has got a point in the Vortex to look for those kill opportunities.
Denied.
Salve out, but still trying to make that slow climb towards at least the bottle in the mid lane. Supreme only on 300 gold on it at the moment.
Now let's check this runes. Era is doing the right thing. Perfect. He's checking the bottom rune, ensuring that Magical gets bullied away. Supreme even pops the Flame Guard to force the lane in a little bit, and he'll be able to secure that top rune. So
that's pretty big.
That's big. He doesn't have a bottle, though, but it just denies it from Magical filling up.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, not really a useful rune, right?
No.
You know, ideally, if you're losing the lane, maybe it's a DD or a regen rune, even an illusion rune, something that's going to help you have a bit of a better chance in that matchup when it comes to CSing.
So a very farmed Storm versus not like the easiest disables line. Just the root, that big annoying one, but the other ones are not the easy ones for him to actually get caught by. Getting aggressive here. Just trying to push Supreme out. I mean, Supreme just has no regen, so
yeah,
Magical knows he can always do this.
Has got the 3 points of Flame Guard though, so will be enough to save him against a couple of the Remnant Bursts. We'll see the TP
they're
mid.
actually going to fill his bottle even. Oh, they're giving Magical the lovely treatment right now here.
They know that he's a few creeps off 6, right? He's going to be hitting the 6 before Supreme is. You want to make sure this Storm's got mana, because as soon as Magical hits 6, he's going to have massive kill potential there.
Yeah.
So
he'll probably get it off these 2 creeps here, this next melee.
This will be it, this one here. So he's got the 6 down, and now you just got to stay out of the lane. Supreme's just got to hit jungle creeps until he hits 6 himself.
I actually thought that they were going to go contest the enemy bounty rune on the right side there with the Rubik. I think if the 2 of them ran together, there's no way that Supreme could have like done anything to that. So I think they could have actually done that type of pressure there from Slayer.
I guess if anything, just playing safer than not. You know, they know that the Storm's having a good time. That would be one of those plays that would really sort of crush the Ember, but it is a risk to run. And we saw how these teams like to play, especially in game 1, right? Definitely sort of taking the safer routes for the most part in the early game. Bottom lane, the Magical will be able to TP over in time and punish Saberlight there for trying to get away underneath the tower. As Magical are easily able to seize an opportunity to head over and get that kill.
Looks like a real good start for him. Charlie's actually able to farm this stack over here. Very nice. for NiP. And Charlie's off to another pretty explosive start here.
It's going to be a quick Midas again.
Not as enabled, of course, because it doesn't have that IO, but look at those stacks. Era this entire time.
He's got some going again.
He's got a triple stack, I believe, at Ancients right now.
So, I mean, if you are Cyber Legacy, right, after that game, you knew that he got a big boost from stacks, right? You know this is something that NiP's doing.
They had a ward on top of it. They saw it.
Okay, well, there you go. So this time round, like, surely you're not going to let the team do it again.
No, you shouldn't at least.
You've got to be playing for those stacks if you're Cyber Legacy. Because we saw last time, Charlie, he gets a Midas, he cleans those stacks, suddenly he's 2k ahead of any other core in the game.
Yeah. I think they can definitely look to invade it. Getting like a smoke and a ward, Gyrocopter with 6, they can 100% look to fight around there. As long as Warlock's not 6. If Warlock's 6, it can kind of change everything. Looks like Saberlight's actually going to use some of the stacks for himself this time to catch back up.
Ah, yes. Yeah, the classic, take the stacks, just hope your Sven's not looking, and be like, oh, are these for me?
Your Sven's asking, what the hell, Era? Where's the stacks?
Where's the stacks, Era?
Where's the stack? They must have taken them.
And then Era gets
quietly.
kicked, and you're like, up, and it goes, it's long, you've got to be careful. There can be misunderstandings when stacks are stolen. Blame is pointed all around.
See, he may have stolen the hard camp, but he just stacked the Ancients again, though. So he's like, okay, I may have taken some, but, I give it
you're happy with that as the carry. Yeah. You'll allow that. You'll allow that if he's sort of trading it.
We're seeing already, look, Magical, they're super aware.
And there you go, right. If he hadn't taken that, Magical, he would have very easily taken the non-ancient stack. So that
beautiful.
That was Saberlight there, making sure that Magical wouldn't be able to go for the steal.
Oh, oops. Magical just walked into tower.
Okay.
Oopsie. So he reveals himself bottom.
Oh, it was intentional. It was the big brain play.
Intentional?
It was the big brain.
Oh, it might actually.
Because now Supreme's going on top. Because he thought the storm was bottom, but then bam, Magical's like, debated, my friend. But then he's like, well, actually, I've got nothing else to offer up here. Blizzy has hit 6, but there's 3 heroes, and we got to run away. So maybe it was intentional.
But the mind games.
It didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Let's
see. Blizzy couldn't really go for a duel. They were all a little healthy. There was 3 heroes there.
But it's the thought that counts.
It was.
And now he's able to farm a triple camp, so I think he's pretty happy with that one. Bignum, ooh, nice. Denies away that rune from Supreme. Supreme taunts in frustration. Who gets which? Okay, Arcane Ring on Saberlight. Oh, Faded Brooch for Magical. There you go.
That's nice for the Storm.
That's very nice.
That's nice. Not as nice as the Arcane Ring.
No, definitely not.
That is the top tier 1 for Storms.
Yeah, but still very, very nice. Allows him to get that bigger mana pool to start for sure.
There's a few more remnants in the fight.
Yep. So looking at these at least the way the lanes commence, dude, this is the slowest game, the slowest series ever. It's 1 kill.
It is.
Come on, guys. Like, we want to see fragging. Looking at the lanes, right, they definitely came out ahead this time pretty hard on Cyber Legacy.
Yeah, compared to what we saw in Game 1. I mean, Charlie, I don't know what timing we're getting on the Midas this game. He must be just about to have it if he hasn't picked it up already on the Sven. But this time... Okay, it's a little slow, because last game he had the Midas at this time. So it's definitely slower start here.
Yeah, he went for the treads instead because he was getting pressured in lane a bit. And also, the thing is, in the last game, the thing that allows him to actually farm like a quad ancient stack is him being overcharged.
Sure.
This one, he doesn't have that type of big enabling factor.
Like, he can't just go pop out, clear this ancient.
I mean, he maybe can, but he has to do the dance. Instead of just being able to just beat on the ancients, he has to dance around. And I think he has to wait till at least he has max cleave.
I mean, they still don't have any vision over there, though, Cyber Legacy. So if he does go for it, it's unlikely that Cyber Legacy move over unless they have some incredible level of spidey senses.
Saberlight, missiles out.
Yeah, taking a bit of damage here. TP's coming in.
Who's coming in? Legion. Okay, Blizzy. So we'll connect. Blizzy. Don't know if did they see the TP coming in? I think they might have actually.
Yeah, it looks like Blizzy's not going to be able to find anyone by surprise. Supreme's going to head up.
It's a battle around the bounties. There's no call down.
Okay, Blizzy, he's going to come out from the trees, but that vacuum wall onto the 3 of them. It's bringing Cyber Legacy low. Bignum splits to the side to pick up the bounty room. Remnant in as Supreme's able to find one. Kuman goes straight for the TPI, makes it away. So they'll lose Blizzy. They'll also lose Bignum there as Charlie comes away from the ancient stack to pick up something extra. But they're
not able to contest that ancient because of that 10-minute movement from NiP. So now NiP, they secured that one. Did he actually finish it off? He's trying. He's struggling a little bit there.
He's clearing for it now.
But he does clear it.
And that's the Midas. So this Sven again, Charlie, he's at the top. Not quite as at the top as in Game 1, but Game 1 really was quite something. This is going to be another game though where Charlie's Sven's going to be farming at a pace that Gyro's unlikely to keep up with unless they start getting fights going. But again, 11 minutes in, it's only 1-2. We're not seeing Cyber Legacy be able to brawl as much as they want to.
I actually don't know. Where did Kuman use his call down? That's the biggest thing for me. They didn't have it bottom, so he clearly used it somewhere else. And now mid, It's getting gone on. The Golem is committed, but they will reset and heal. But yeah, they didn't have cooldown for the first fight. I think that's the most important thing. They don't have cooldown, they don't have their super farm Storm to be able to contest that first bounty move. So for NiP, I feel like that's a really big heads-up move for them to protect their Ancients. Unfortunately, waste the Golem here in the mid lane, though.
We'll be able to farm it. Oh,
or
not.
will he?
Okay, doesn't get the money. Magical not quite wanting to commit with his complete mana pool. Understandable, there's still many members of NiP around this mid lane.
Stolen chains.
Yeah.
No.
And Supreme, he's starting to catch back up in game.
Yep.
He needs to, obviously had that tough lane against the Storm early on.
Is he going to be going for Yules or is he going to be going for Blade Mail or something? Because the Storm already has the Orchid, so right now he's got the Blade Mail queued up, but might have to switch it as soon as he sees the Orchid. Oh, they do get the kill.
I mean, because the Blade Mail Ember, I mean, what's the theory here? If he gets Blade Mail, does that actually stop the Storm going on you with the Orchid? Is it enough to scare him off?
Oh, the God Strength Rubik, look at him go.
Turn and punch him. He wants to, but he's a little too low, so he's being careful. Supreme has got another Remnant to jump away.
They're getting red at, though. There's no Golem since they used it before. They just have to disengage. This is way too strong of a gyro.
Yeah, the supports get run down incredibly easy.
I think the one thing about the Blade Mail is there's a lot of uncontrollable damage that he's looking at, right? Gyro just pops cooldown, pops his barrage, and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage back.
But they have got sustains and heals, right? You have the IO, and you do also have the Dispel and the heal from the Legion.
Yeah, I mean, he's already committed. He's committed for it, so it is what it is. It could work, though. It can catch definitely people off guard. And maybe can dissuade the Storm from full committing onto him.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how effective it does play out in the fight, if it is enough that makes the Storm leave him alone, allows the silence to pass, and Supreme able to jump out at the end of it all. Korea has been taken out for Magical, but he doesn't mind. He'll take the walk back to base anyway to pick up that finished Orchid.
At least he didn't lose the component or something like that on the Courier. Charlie, though, we see not the SNY that he had at 13 minutes with treads like last game.
It's slow, but
still
it's still it's still very, very quick.
Yeah, he's also he's about to level 12 for that level 2 ult. Nice stun there, excellent.
Easy CS.
Beautiful.
Are scanning.
Watching Blizzy just trying to get the pipe on for the team.
Just team fight. They're gonna. I mean, Mech Pipe, if they get it at a good time, can do a lot. And, that Orchid, there it is.
Here's the Orchid reveal, straight in onto the Ember, and they'll nuke him down.
He did not see that coming this early on.
Yeah, it's sort of this 30-minute timing. I mean, obviously, they would have seen him building the Naked Orchid, so maybe some expectation, but not enough to give him the foresight to not pushing that aggressively. And, of course, not a lot that his backup can really do to save him. So there's the heals from the Warlock and the Surge from the Darkshire, but these sort of pseudo saves. Nothing that's going to straight up protect him from getting gone on by the 5-mana Cyber Legacy.
Yeah. Kind of cool to see that they're just actually going for the farm rate, right? It's the Maelstrom build into Aghanims on the gyro, so I don't think they're feeling forced to actually make plays and end the game or anything. This tells me that he just wants to play the farm game. They're going to be able to be active with Magical making space for him, so I think he's just going for this build that's going to maximize his farm because how good of a game Magical's having. I mean,
I think they could do well with that. I mean, in terms of late game from NiP, you are going to have to deal with this very big Fen, but at the end of the day, if you have heroes like Legion, right, you can itemize against this Fen quite nicely. You can get these
another catch.
And it's time the bonus of the duel. Blizzy gets in as well.
Oh, and Slayer with the God Strength. He doesn't attack anything, but look at him go. And now they're getting aggressive onto the tower here, too.
Very early tier 2 as well, if they can stick around for it. The fortification does come out, so maybe a little hard for them to push on, but yeah, just 14 minutes in. Pushing on tier 2s. Tips starting to come out from Magical, onto Supreme. They know that they've really hurt the Ember's game this time. He's just found another. He's straight down on the bottom.
And he's got the reload, but
no pullback. Vortex already being used. Magical 3-0-3 right now.
Look at the difference, though. Like, right, last game he's playing a Magnus. Now he's playing a Storm where he can actually do stuff. He can actually make the space on the map for that
infinitely better.
Completely different, yeah.
I mean, as you say, this is sort of the way they were winning with, right?
Yeah,
this is what Cyber Legacy has had such success with. I mean, maybe there was an element of, game one, you're playing against NiP, it is the team that's come down from Immortal, so maybe they sort of overthought it. You see this team dropping down from the Tier 1 division, and you feel like you've got to sort of change up your game, play in a much safer style. And that didn't work out. So sort of back to basics for Cyber Legacy, just say, you know what, let's just play what we're comfortable with. Let's not try and big brain it too much.
sometimes also you just end up with a draft. You look at it, you know, you're like, damn, we got this really good hero, this really good hero, this really good. Then you look at it as a whole, and you're like, huh. Our heroes are good individually, but ooh, together versus what we're against, not the best. Especially with that Viper last pick, last game. But NiP, they're feeling strong. SNY, Sven is online.
The Sven is huge. If they can get Charlie in hitting heroes,
and they've got the
they're going to start falling pretty quickly.
Fatal Bonds plus that Golem for Misha ready, so they're trying to claim a high ground for a good initiation. You can tell, though, it seems like they know this is going on here on the side of
Totally avoiding it.
Yeah.
Nobody around this mid lane. I mean, only Slayer sort of hanging around to clear out the creep waves. They're playing on the side lanes up top. Blizzy starting to move the wave right up to the tier 2 once again. So NiP sort of between the mid and the top. This smoke not going to grant them any action.
Which hurts Supreme more because he's already having a rough game, so not able to find farm. And they're going to be playing into Mech and Pipe very soon, which is pretty damn strong versus their draft. In particular, that Pipe to be able to counteract a lot of that magic damage that their draft is really all about early on. They do have that nice, deep, aggressive ward at the moment here. Slayer, he will spot one of them, but they're going to punish him.
Yeah, they'll get Slayer for sure.
Oh, does he get the D ward?
He's not going to get it.
Oh, and now his courier.
Oh, error. He's found it.
Has been killed.
Poor Slayer.
Or as well, that's the smokes and the ward back up out.
Oh, I feel for those poor supports. Oh, man. And did they even deny? Oh, they denied the ward to it.
Oh, of course,
like,
you're not leaving that one up.
The money.
No.
A kill found for Kuman.
But still, though, that is a lot of movement for just a support kill.
For sure.
Magical continues to free farm top. I believe we just saw there, Kuman has pretty much got the Aghanims complete.
Yep, and you can see how confident he's playing around this area because that space was made. And look at the ward coverage he has up here, right? Ward on the hill, ward near the outpost as well, so we can see if any rotation does come. So he feels very safe up here, especially with Blizzy behind him for the Dispel.
And especially when you're seeing that NiP just came out of a smoke.
Yeah.
We're trying to make a move with one. Unlikely to be kicking back with a second one anytime soon.
Yep.
So.
He's actually going to commit here.
This is pretty aggressive from Magical, but hey, he's away.
He just bailed out on his gyro.
Oh no.
He baited his team.
Oh no, that is the biggest bait I've seen in a while. Oh no, they wanted to help him and he said no. He left.
He went way too early.
He said no and left.
He went so quick when he saw just one hero, and now NiP, they're striking back hard.
I mean, honestly, the Blizzy and the Slayer are going to get away. Or maybe not Slayer, he's going to get caught by the chains. Slayer may just die here as well. He's gone.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you don't blame the Storm, though. You're not trying to fight there, are you? Like, Storm had the right idea. You get out, they drop rock, just chill. I mean, I think that's got to be on the IO for taking the gyro. And does he really want to go into a fight there?
In that location, with Golem up, it's very risky. When you didn't see anything else on the map, right? That's the only wards that they did have. That's the only information
if they're willing to drop Golem solo onto a Storm, they're ready to fight. You know, he's not just doing that for a bit of fun. He's doing that because he's got a team ready to try and kill the Storm.
How dare you blame the IO? Never.
Blame
Don't
the support.
Dare blame the support. It was Gyro who made the call.
Well, exactly. We don't know who made the call. But
somebody did, and it was a mistake.
Yeah, team comms there were a little broken up.
Yep.
That was not the move.
NiP punch back hard. Slayer, he's like, somebody give me vision on the high ground. Oh god, the ward's not there anymore. Now they're gonna go for their dewarding around this area. As they know, there's no wards. They're gonna smoke and look for a fight because there's no Golem, no God Strength. So they're extremely strong still.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's again a bit of the long con. You know, we'll go in with a crazy IO relocate.
Feed our
NiP's going to be like, haha, what are they doing? And then bam, Cyber Legacy come in with the big old smoke.
Nope, NiP's ready.
They are hiding.
Playing all along that right side, all around their triangle, around the Sven. Playing safe. They know. They don't have Golem. They know they have to just play a little bit careful in these few moments. Now they're all starting to get together, though. Charlie has the BKB now, too, so he is feeling much stronger. The things that formerly countered
run it in.
Do not counter him anymore.
He's popping the God Strength. He's ready to go. Magical will jump in, but there's the blade mail. Puts him off from committing.
Whoa.
Vacuum Wall comes out, but he's up to the high ground. The chains is caught to the gyro and the IO. They're caught at the front.
Is it BKB
The Big Namayo's dead. They've lost the gyro. Oh, this gyro IO are having some pretty disastrous adventures.
Yeah, questionable relocate.
After a really good start from the gyro, like this was some great timings on the gyrocopter's items, but that's 2 times back-to-back where this gyro and IO have said, we're ready to fight, and NiP said no, and they're just dying. You can't have your gyro die like this 2 times in a row.
And that was the moment God Strength comes back online, the moment the Sven got BKB, and that was without Golem. Now Golem's up.
Oh,
now how do you make a move now in Cyber Legacy? You have to actually just look for pick-off game. But now you're probably put off from doing any pick-offs because you don't want to relocate ever again.
No, I mean, at least you've got to wait until Jara's got another item, or you're finding them split up, NiP. Going into these 5-mans like this, it's not working out at all.
No, I think they've just made some very huge mistakes. Like this, their lineup is countered by BKB.
Like they were doing all right as well before these 2 plays, right? They had the net worth lead.
They were doing the farm game. That's why I thought that's why they went the Maelstrom.
But look,
Axe.
there we have it. That's the 2 moves. Bam, bam.
The moment
down to even, now down into NiP's favor.
It's like he got the Maelstrom in the Ags, and that's when he was like, I want to fight now, even though now I have my farming items. They just brought him into these fights and just have gotten him killed. He needs the BKB so badly
Without
now.
the BKB, you're not making those moves again. You're not making those moves again.
Yeah, they have to be very careful how they do these type of plays. That Fatal Bond is always going to rip them to shreds. Until they do have those BKBs. And yeah, it's, like we said, now it's, NiP's time to fight. Charlie's ult is going to be back up. They have BKB. They've got Golem. They can look for any type of engagement they want here because Cyber Legacy made those 2 drastic mistakes. They are set off of their timings now. And that was with the Pipe as well. Pipe and Mech inside of that fight, but they're fighting versus a level 18 Sven with BKB. And the positioning too. They have to be very careful about those positionings. Now, look at this. This is not where you want to be. I do believe they saw the smoke.
What, tethered to your eye whilst he has relocate up?
Sitting behind your
Be careful.
too.
Don't take me anywhere, Io, please. Let me get my BKB.
And into Roche Pit. They've got God Strength. They've got everything. And oh, okay. Eris actually going to do it for smoke play with 2 of the heroes here.
I mean, they get,
They misclicked on the smoke there? That was a little bit
what
weird
happened?
smoke. They smoked there, right? That was a weird smoke.
It was the mini smoke.
I guess just to have Saberlight hidden so he can get the initiation. Okay. Just in case there's a fight around there.
Yeah, I guess helps detect if someone's relocating into the shadows or, coming in from a place where you don't have vision. You're like, smoke dispelled, someone's around.
Something like that, yeah.
Or maybe just a misclick. We all have misclicks. Happens to the best of us.
More forms of catch now. Wind Ranger has a Blink Dagger. Their Ember Spirit's still not farming very well, though. We see Supreme is still really, really struggling in this game. But Charlie is that, he's that big win condition, and he's been enabled heavily. Magical. He upgraded the treads. He's going to be going
go
for the
treads
Bloodstone
before he went for the old Bloodstone.
He did get his... actually, we can't say he got his team killed.
No, I don't think that there was the Storm's
fault. No, it
fault.
wasn't his fault, no.
He had the right idea. He used all his mana. He had no intention to fight. He was out of there.
Damn,
Because obviously his team had other ideas.
Goddamn core players. The Slight actually breaks Magical smoke there. Rubik is still smoked behind him. Maybe looking for a catch around a rune. Unable to get it, though. Still only a 1k gold lead, as we do see they are still farming with those farming items, right? That Gyrocopter, that IO. Now they're much more pressed about, let's finish this BKB.
I mean, he's
so
got it.
Kuman's
got it.
Don't bring me anywhere till I
Here's the BKB. So now, if they do sort of just go straight into the middle, they probably will stand a chance. As long as they don't end up right next to the Sven with God Strength pops. Then this Gyro is still going to fall relatively fast. But if they can do it away from Charlie, wait until he's gone to someone else and get the Gyro on top of really any of the other members of NiP, they're going to have a solid chance of doing a lot of damage during the Gyro's BKB.
Gonna start getting harder, though, as he now has a full Aghanims. After that last fight, he has a full item finished up, so now he has ways to get on top of that back line very easy. There it is. Pops the Godshine to me. He's just in.
All right, he is in, Charlie. He is in.
And he's
really
gonna
going
die.
in.
Oh,
Is he?
Is he?
He is. But he's got the Aegis. He's back for another round. Io will fall. They've got the root onto the blood. Onto the
stun.
The storm. He's out.
He's gonna survive.
He's gonna live. The Bloodstone heal was enough. I mean, it only just finished as well, that Bloodstone.
And now, that was a way too far of a dive. They can get turned on here.
Can they chase?
They have to be careful.
Magical's got full mana. He's going in again, Charlie. Got to be careful. Still trying to fight here, NiP.
Stolen stun. They got to back up.
He will get away with it. I mean, it made something happen with the Aegis. Got a kill. Did get your Warlock kill for it. But Charlie, he was in.
They have... I think he's lucky that he didn't just get dueled under tier 4s very quickly there, and they just turned on him. That could have been real scary there for NiP. I think they should be very happy that they actually got out, but that was their Aegis push, and now, I mean, Cyber Legacy, it's not like they're very far behind in this game at all. They're actually like still very even. That was quite a force there.
I mean, what to
by Charlie.
The point where you feel that if you are NiP, you do still need to be making sure that you are getting something objective-wise out of these Aegises, because as it goes on, you are going to be against this team that has this sort of duo core, whilst you just have the one man, right? You've got it all on the Sven. Cyber Legacy going to have two heroes that will continue to scale, this Gyro and Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty big mistake, actually. Now they're going to get punished for it, perhaps.
Straight in on mid. They get the duel off. They'll be able to get the duel damage as they take down Supreme. And now Magical, he's even zipping for more. He's straight in. The dodge there off the stun. Charlie's got to run. Misha's going to be left behind. Misha goes down. And now for more Magical, he's still got mana to play with. He's looking over towards Saberlight. Saberlight's surge will be about to come to an end. Blizzy, he's in on the trees. Vacuum walls down. Stone comes down to three of them. Charlie plus the BKB in the God Strength. He's trying to look for Magical, but Magical's out with the last bit of mana. He's away. There'll be a buyback coming out from Misha. Can they get anything else out of it? It was just the kill onto Blizzy. I mean, even it was a three-man vacuum into the stun of the Sven, but not quite actually having the damage to get more than just the Legion kill.
Yeah.
So a strong bit of a punch back there from Cyber Legacy, and of course some lovely Bloodstone charges for Magical.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like that was a huge mistake, Bottom. That was their fight. That was their fight to just take a tower, and it was up to Cyber Legacy to stop this God Strength Sven from taking a Rax because they have the counter initiative Golem. That may have been a game-losing move. Because this Gyro is still extremely farmed. Storm is still scaling. Your Ember is not scaling.
I'm actually, Gyro is sitting on 3,600 gold on top of what he has. He's ready to go for the next big item.
I'm starting to feel a little bit worried. Even though it's just this 1K, it's just Sven on an island. And we just saw they can tank through it pretty hard.
If your Sven's doing plays like that, you're like, Sven, can we calm down?
Yeah.
You're the guy that's got all the farm. We need you to win us the game.
Yep, and you can see the way that they're building. It's all about enabling the Gyro and the Storm. It's the Medallion. It's going to be the Solar Crest on this Legion Commander. And he, like you said, they just got a three-man vacuum combo, and it did not look like he was punching that hard just yet because of how innately tanky these heroes can be.
Dire are scanning.
Don't think they can make another one of those mistakes in this game.
I mean, are you even trying to push it again before Roche is up, or if you're NiP, do you just wait for that timing?
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to now. It's a bit awkward now for them. I feel like they should be playing with a Rax up after that. With that Aegis, with the ways that they make the moves, with the Sven having a full item ahead. They do at least have like Golem ready and all that, but yeah, this Gyro is starting to get to pretty critical mass very quickly here.
Yeah, this Satanic is just a few waves away for Kuman, and then at that stage he absolutely isn't dying in sort of the vacuum stun combo. He's going to be able to hit back.
Especially because I saw the next item build. I mean, they don't see it, but we do, from Charlie. He's actually going for the AC, not something explosive. I feel like a Daedalus might have actually served more use, because then he can actually pop them.
When you have the sort of setups like the vacuum,
yeah,
then you can certainly make the argument for it. I mean, AC, of course, is
still very good.
It's great against the flak, right? It does give your whole team that extra bit of armor benefit against the spread damage of the Gyro.
But now he might not be able to pop the Gyro before the Satanic usage actually, or the Satanic actually just keeps him alive, right? So it can definitely be a bit of a concern. As I mean, I'm just seeing Supreme just not scaling. Like, he's actually getting lower and lower on the net worth as this goes around. It looks like it's really just going to be Charlie versus the world with a Golem and a Fatal Bonds behind him.
I mean, why is Supreme's farm sort of slowed down this much? Is this just standard when you have like a hyper-farming hero like the Sven, that your game is going to be heavily sacrificed in order to make sure that the Sven is kind of taking everything off the map?
I think it's that, plus the lane matchup, plus he doesn't have, like, he didn't have a way to be actually on the map versus this Orchid until he had BKB finished. So I think he was just like very afraid to actually do much besides run with his team, which when you run with your team, you fall further behind on net worth. Like, Era is actually just catching up to him and staying right behind him this whole time.
I mean, he is, yeah. The win range is going to have some farm.
Yeah.
So that is sort of split there, and the way things are shared. They'll start to group up top NiP, take some more towers. This tier 1's going to go down. There is the Satanic complete for Kuman.
Let's see what I want to see what Dota Plus thinks, actually, because I'm really feeling like the dire lineup only has a couple
still
more.
Still feeling the Dire side,
yeah, still feeling them. I feel like they only have a couple more moments though where they're going to feel this strong. It's going to be really big around this next Roche. Because I feel like if they don't win this next Roche fight, they kind of just lose the game.
I mean, their Roche fight is still superior, right?
As long as they don't, as long as they're the ones who get a good jump.
Here. Like, their team fight is better in an enclosed area.
Yeah, as long as Magical doesn't have vision of where the Warlock is, right? Because otherwise it changes things.
Yeah, sure. If Magical's able to get in and take out the Warlock or mess with the Darkseer long enough, then things change. Both teams trying to go for tier 2s. It's going for the split here, and this tier 2 should get, not quite there, but get Magical very close to his own BKB. So
if he got the last hit, he would have had the BKB. When he missed the last hit on the tower there. Bit unfortunate.
And there we go then. So AC done for Charlie. We'll see how much of an effect this does take in the fights, and if it is enough to keep his team alive and does still allow him to do enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, he still does. I mean, with the treads, with the Midas, with the AC, he
still
attacking
punches
very, very fast. So there is going to be a ton of damage. And it does scale really well when you do hit 25, right? The God Strength plus 50% with that attack speed is super beneficial. But here we go. Magical BKB. Their cores are really strong on the side of Cyber Legacy, so they're actually looking for a fight. They've got a good deep ward down, too, right by that tower in the mid lane.
Yeah, it does see.
Can actually
that's
spot
very
out
nice,
a lot
actually.
of
They're not going to expect that ward there at all, NiP.
No. Let's see what they're able to make of it.
Oh, here's this. Ooh, Magical. He's going in, but he's got a BKB, so he's more than happy to do so. They turn. They've got the control onto Supreme. Supreme pots the BKB, turns with the blade mail, tries to go in onto Kuman, but Kuman, he pots the BKB himself. They will be able to jump over to delete Big Num, but Big Num's going to come in with a buyback straight away. The BKB for Kuman about to wear off. Big Num goes across,
Nice
but then
vacuum.
Charlie with a counterplay. The vacuum sets up for the stun. They kill off Big Num a second time. Magical goes over to the side to take out Supreme. Supreme buys back over towards the mid. Magical jumps straight back across, but Charlie, he's cleaning up pretty big here. He's got himself a triple.
Great
Turns over
shackle.
towards Kuman. He's going to be able to find the Ultra. Ooh! As Charlie will clear this fight up. Buybacks not enough there from Cyber Legacy to turn the state of things around. As this time, Charlie really was able to get the kills there, jumping from target to target. And as you pointed out, just the starting play there with the vacuum.
Yep.
It just stopped there. The IO Big Num able to come back into the fight. An instant dieback on him. He just couldn't keep his carry protected.
And Blizzy was, I didn't feel like Blizzy was in the fight. He just died to just AoE damage and a great counter initiation by NiP. Era actually landed, I didn't see if it was 2 shackles, but he got very nice shackles on both cores. Charlie literally just stood there auto-attacking. They weren't actually able to kite away from him
They couldn't
because of those
they couldn't do anything about the Sven.
Yeah, and that vacuum on the IO. Like, if IO's able to tether and get that gyro all buffed
Maybe
up,
could
it
turn.
changes things, but the vacuum breaks it, and now they get a Roche spawn.
Yeah.
That was the fight they needed to be able to keep this lead where they need it to be. If they start falling behind in that one,
Sure.
that's where the game changes, but huge fight for them.
And as you said, they did need to get this Aegis right. Now that they get the Aegis, they get the cheese, this is where they've got to focus on getting something done to the base, right? Yeah, sure, they've, you know, we saw last time the deep dives. This time, they've got to go for objectives.
Yeah. Charlie hits 25 now, though, so big damage, and because he has all this attack speed, he's not going to go opt for anything like that Daedalus. He's going to go for more survivability, because he's got the damage already with that 25 talent. A huge fight.
It's taking out the tier 2s, and yeah, this high ground defense is going to be very hard for Cyber Legacy now. No, or at least very limited buybacks across the team. You're doing it against an Aegis cheese. And we'll see there, in fact, nobody with the buybacks right now. Both Magical and Kuman short on the funds.
This looks like this just looks like Charlie's having a lot of fun in the series, right? Like, look at this.
Playing
He's just
Sven.
fully enabled by his team. 905, able to stick on targets nicely. And even a Darkseer is buying a medallion for him to buff him up too. Like, anything for your man. And we're seeing Big Num. Even though he has this mech, he has us online, he's really realizing that he needs like Ghost Scepter, he needs other ways to protect
They're going to
himself.
go out here.
Okay.
I mean, ults are up for NiP. Sure, not the chaotic offering, but still the constraint. So they do scan the high ground. They know that NiP's up there.
Looks like
This
this.
is a bit of a scary move.
Whoa, they're
here.
on top of a Fire Remnant. Ember jumps away.
Can they kill him off quick enough?
They can't.
No.
He's got the cheese.
And he's got the BKB and the blade mail. They couldn't finish Supreme off now. Now the fight's a little split up for Cyber Legacy. They've got to be careful. Kuman, he's committed with the BKB and the ult onto Saberlight. Saberlight pops the surge. He's away. Saberlight finally falls
Big
there
Num.
as Magical cleans him on the back, but they're focusing the IO. Now Charlie turns over towards Kuman. Homing missile holds him back momentarily. There'll be a buyback from Era. Charlie looking for his next target. And can he find it? No, he cannot get on top of Magical. Magical able to juke out the stun with the zip. Kuman does find Misha. So
Nice.
Cyber Legacy get 3 kills out of this one. Only themselves, losing the IO. That was it.
And they forced the cheese from Supreme because they smoked right on top of his Remnant. He jumped in and it was chaos, actually. He was panicking for a second.
Okay, and yeah, so all things said and done, the smoke paid off. They come out And they do give NiP a very good fight outside of the base before NiP are able to get together and just commit for the high ground push. And they take some of the benefits away. Yeah, Chi's gone. And some of that net worth lead taken off them as well.
They blink disengaged really well around the Sven that time. I think both of his stuns that he used, they blinked and canceled it from him actually sticking on a target. So he was kind of running around a bit, lost in the fights, unable to stick on a target. Cyber Legacy played that one very nicely here. And I think the Aegis is going to be getting reclaimed. They still have 2 minutes.
Yeah, they still got a bit of time on the Aegis.
Dire are scanning.
But that's one step closer. They're still farming very well. Charlie?
There's Alan hunting. See the Deso being the option here for Supreme, just to make sure he can offer that little extra in the fights, get the debuffs on enemies so Charlie can shred them apart even easier. And of course, when it comes to ending the game, that Deso going to be very nice with the AC in terms of taking down those towers and buildings.
Yeah, enable Charlie as much as possible. Just get, I mean, like you said, the debuff on everybody is going to be very strong. So only a 2K. Magical still he's almost 25 on this Storm, and he has 20 Bloodstones. He's still
dominant.
Still quite a force to be reckoned with. I honestly think he should be carrying a Dust, though. I've actually seen this Glimmer Kick from the Warlock save him twice now. Yeah, so I think they have to have ways to get the vision in the back line.
Yeah, you don't need a bottle in your slot all the time.
Yeah. Someone has to be, because nobody was when I watched. Nobody, like literally Rubik, Io, nobody had a Dust or any type of sentries, so they do need that. Kuman's getting close to a pretty big critical item for him to actually stand toe-to-toe versus Charlie if he is able to finish this butterfly.
Yeah, you're right. There's no true strike.
Nope.
No MKB in the build.
Charlie. But they're trying to take advantage here.
They're going to look to dive into the base. They're going to go straight to Big Nut. They've taken out the Io. They look over towards Kuman. Kuman pots the BKB. Charlie lifted up by Slayer, trying to drag him in even deeper. Charlie, he's happy to go deeper. Charges over on a Blizzy with a stun. He's pushing them back to the fountain. He does not care at all about going into the base, as he is that strong right now on the Sven. Magical trying to clear out mid, but the fortifications popped. Here, both sides, as Cyber Legacy try to deter, and NiP, they just commit. They take this bottom racks incredibly easily with this Deso, AC, God Strength. They just destroy the base of Cyber Legacy. Cyber Legacy just having the 3 alive, and against the 5-man and the Aegis of Charlie, it looks very limited what they can do. They come in with the stun, the call down. Charlie's just straight over onto Slayer yet again. Over towards Kuman they go. Kuman needs help. He's going to get it from Magicals. Magical comes in to try and save him. They drag him back to the vacuum though. Kuman will fall. No buyback on him. He's going to have it up in a second. Does now only just get the money for it. So he has got buyback on the gyro, but already the damage certainly being done. The second rack's getting taken away as NiP have no trouble here to just continue to push onto the third and final set.
That was a very beautiful, aggressive move coming out from NiP. That playing around that ward bottom, they see someone like stepped out of the base, they hardcore commit, catch it, and then they're at a number advantage versus this team.
Oh, Magical. He's going to try and go in on this, but the shackles come out. Big Num and Magical, they've been shackled by error. Magical will get the BKB off at the last moment and get back towards the base. He'll live for now. He needs to come in to help Kuman. Kuman pots the Satanic, turns with the cooldowns, but Charlie, he's doing too much damage. Cuts it through, over towards the Storm he goes. Charlie with the cleanup. GG is called as NiP take game 2. And with that, the series is theirs. 2-0. Another ultra kill as well from Charlie to end the game. He was certainly having a great time in both of these matches as Sven